Well, Matt, it's fair to say Saturday's draw at Fleetwood was seen as a real positive. So has that sort of energy from the lads and positivity been taken into this training week?
Yeah, it always is anyway. But of course, I think that was a good solid point. When I reviewed the game back, in tough circumstances, I think the pitch was really tough to play, and it looked great from the side, but playing on it, we were talking about it today actually, in the things that we expected to skid on through then became really big moments to defend. And then times when we thought we were getting in good chances to dribble and drive, it was tough for us. So, and the wind and all that sort of stuff. Listen, it was a good point, really good point away. Plenty of teams will struggle when they go up there because it's such a tough place, such a good manager and good players that they've got. So, we take the positives with it and we move on. So, we've moved that into the training week, and we've done a bit of team bonding this week, and we've obviously trained really hard. And just making sure that, as you say, everyone's moving in the same direction, in the right direction, which is, of course, what we want.
Just touching on what you said there, team bonding, have you done something a bit different then?
Not too different. I got scars all over me from it, though, so or bruises all over me from it, so whatever that looks like, mud wrestling, something like that. But yeah, we've been out together as a group, and that was enjoyable.
Good to hear. And obviously, this September's been a bit uncharted territory with no midweek games at all. But has that given an opportunity for maybe like the lads who joined after pre-season, where they've just got to be thrown straight in, if you like, that real time to settle in?
Yeah, I think every day that we spend out there is another good day. I really do. And you're right, the guys that maybe join late as well, that they're just having more time with each other, more time out of the cauldron of games is really beneficial. So we're going to use that time, and the month continues like it as well. It's very strange to have that in this part of September, and from now until Christmas or just before Christmas, there aren't loads of midweek games. We've got the Papa John stuff, and we'll see what happens with the international break, whether that changes things. But it's good. So really good chances to, we had a couple of injuries with Jamie and P. The fact that there was the game schedule as it was meant that they didn't miss many games. So having them back in the squad, and I know you're going to ask me about that. So having them back in the squad is really good for us and fit and available to play. Some of those things have been great. Players not missing as many games and that squad not being as stretched. So, enjoyed the time on the training ground and enjoyed them bits of togetherness that, again, will really hold us in good stead when the tough runs do begin.
One of those players who sort of joined right at the back end of pre-season, I think it was the eve of the start of the season, was Lewis Warrington. He's someone who looks like he's just getting better with every passing game, doesn't he? How pleased are you with how he's progressing? And he's really sort of hit some form, hasn't he?
Lewis is a good player, really good player. Someone who, throughout the summer, it was on and off because of the nature of him being in contract at Leyton Orient still, and we wanted to try and secure a permanent for him, knowing that the loan crunch, if you like, was going to come in at some point. So we had to be really mindful of that. And Brandon was doing so many minutes in pre-season that we needed to give him that breather too. I've been delighted with Lewis. I'm sure he'll keep going from strength to strength. I thought he had a really good game and could have capped it off with a good goal on Saturday. Like I've mentioned, Brandon, both of them, I think they're playing very, very well. And I'm keen to keep hammering home about the finishers. I saw another manager doing a piece on it the other day, and he quoted them as finishers. And I think that's becoming more prevalent, that term, because I think for long enough squads have felt like being not in that starting 11 is a down thing, whereas sat in the chair here you see it as how can I change the game and how important can them guys coming on be and finishing the game. And I think you've seen over the last whatever it is games wise, those Brandon in particular and Courtney when he's come on and Ryan when he's come on, and Priestley, MK Dons away, and they've come on and changed the game and put it in our favour and moved us on again and made us stronger. They're so important.
There's so many positives there to talk about. Another positive this week, it's Youth Development Week, and we've been celebrating all the successes of our academy. Obviously, it's a vital part of how we run as a football club, and we had that great night at Shrewsbury, didn't we, where we ended with 4 academy players on the pitch. One of those was Charlie Ragg, and he's had a good week, hasn't he? Scored 2 for Hales Owen in midweek. So how pleased are you with his progress, and what does the future look like for him?
Really pleased with his progress there. Russ Penn, when he throughout the summer he'd been all over me for Charlie, which was really interesting because Russ, or the previous season at Howell's Owen, it hadn't been as starting week in week out as it is now, and I think Raggy's starting to see the benefits of that as well. So I think the important thing for him is to keep that going, take nothing for granted. Great that he scored a couple the other night, but then Saturday comes around quickly enough again. You've got to do the same again. The game doesn't stop for anybody, and people want more. So back to square one again. Let's get going and playing. So that'd be my advice for Charlie, and I'm sure he will because he's got that mentality about him. And then in terms of academy, listen, Rob and Ryan and everyone in the academy, I've seen it firsthand for myself when I've gone up on a Monday night and a Wednesday night. The work that goes on in our academy to bring us the next player, I believe it's in the strongest position that it has been in since I've seen it. We've had sporadic ones and twos that have come in through over the years, but I see a real progression in the way that Rob is doing his work. So although it maybe doesn't seem that we've got the numbers that we want and we've got a plan in place at the club to get more numbers, I think it's just worthwhile mentioning Rob's doing a fantastic job. He's a wonderful person mostly, but the work he's doing there, he's I don't want it to go unnoticed because he's doing very, very well.
Yeah, it's really great to see, but as you say, the game stops for no one, so attention turns to Tranmere on Saturday. Andy Crosby's had a bit of time in there since he went in last season, and they've got a lot of experience in their squad, so what challenges will that possess?
That in a nutshell, the experience that they have, and they've recruited again. Richie Smallwood, great signing. Noah Kenny, really good signing. And they've got good players throughout. I think Ironside, another good signing. And then they've continued with Amari, who's always a threat. So yeah, we know the threats that they'll have. Really well drilled because Andy's a good manager. You saw the really way that they ended the season very strongly. And they're going to be a really tough game and a really tough team to play against. So I think, we know what they are, we know what their strengths are. But as always, listen, we've got to focus on ourselves and focus on looking forward to playing the next game at home, in our home, and looking forward to being in front of the supporters. It feels like a little bit of time that we've been there. Looking forward to the next one on that journey.
You touched on them both earlier, but from what you said in terms of Priestley and Jamie Jellis, it sounds like they're really knocking on the door and pushing to be back in on Saturday.
Yeah, Priestley's pushing down the door. But yeah, both of them are desperate to be back involved. We were very lucky that there were shorter term ones, nothing longer term, and again, going back onto the week-to-week games has meant that we've only missed 1 or 2 games with them. And then they've got some good training working this week without effects, so we look forward to bringing them back in the squad.